No one is your friend, friends are snakes. 1. The illusion of friendship. They say, keep your friends close, but few ever ask, how close before they bite. Every man walks through life surrounded by smiling faces, handshakes, and promises of loyalty. Yet behind those smiles often hides a quiet resentment, a concealed envy waiting for the moment you rise too high, or shine too bright. Friendship is a word drenched in illusion. It sounds noble, pure, and comforting. But when you strip away sentimentality, what you see beneath is raw self-interest. Most people don't love you, they love what you give them, attention, validation, opportunity, or advantage. The illusion begins when you confuse companionship for loyalty. A friend is warm when you're equal or beneath them, but when you start to outgrow them, their tone changes. They laugh less, congratulate you less, and begin comparing instead of supporting. The truth is simple, most friends don't want you to fail, they just don't want you to surpass them. In the jungle of human relationships, survival instincts never vanish, they merely disguise themselves as friendship. What men call friendship, Machiavelli would call a temporary alliance of mutual benefit. It lasts only as long as both parties find use in it. When your growth threatens their comfort, the mask begins to slip. Realize this, when you remove the illusion, you stop expecting loyalty from snakes. 2. The mask of jealousy. Jealousy is not loud. It doesn't always show itself through insults or arguments. Often, it hides behind smiles, subtle jokes, or silent withdrawals. A jealous friend doesn't attack you directly, they poison you slowly through indifference, gossip, or hidden sabotage. They may praise you in public but criticize you in private. They may call you lucky instead of recognizing your effort, or subtly discourage your dreams under the guise of concern. Are you sure you can handle that? You're changing, bro. Don't forget where you came from. Those phrases sound harmless, but they are the whispers of insecurity. Jealousy operates in shadows because it fears exposure. When someone envies you, they secretly compare their reflection to yours, and hate the difference. The more you evolve, the more your existence reminds them of their stagnation. This is why even good men, even childhood friends, can turn cold. You are no longer a mirror of who they are, you become a reflection of what they failed to become. That's when the mask slips. That's when the smile becomes venom. The wise man doesn't hate the jealous, he understands them. He sees their envy as confirmation that he's walking the right path. Because no one envies mediocrity. 3. Why friends secretly compete with you. In the modern world, competition hides in conversations. When you talk about your goals, your friends listen, not always to support you, but to measure themselves against you. The male ego is a fragile structure. It thrives on hierarchy. When you start to rise, you disturb the invisible order that kept everyone comfortable. And in that moment, friendship turns into rivalry. Notice how suddenly everyone becomes an expert on your life decisions. Notice how your successes are minimized, but your mistakes are magnified. Notice how your energy starts to drain after being around them. That's not coincidence, that's silent competition. In ancient philosophy, Stoics warned against emotional dependency. Because when your peace depends on the approval of others, you're already enslaved. The moment you need validation from your circle, you've given them the weapon to control you. Competition among friends is inevitable, but only the wise remain calm amidst it. The fool competes out of envy. The wise man competes only with his past self. Once you understand that every man is chasing his own sense of importance, you stop taking betrayal personally. You realize, it was never about you. It was about their reflection in your success. 4. Betrayal behind smiles. Betrayal doesn't always come with warning signs. Sometimes, it comes wrapped in laughter, drinks, and shared secrets. The modern snake doesn't hiss, it smiles. They learn your weaknesses through friendship. They study your patterns, your dreams, your insecurities. Then one day, they use that knowledge against you, not because they hate you, but because they envy the power you have to rise above them. The betrayal of a friend cuts deeper than that of an enemy. Because an enemy attacks you from the front, but a friend attacks from behind. And yet, the Stoic man does not mourn betrayal, he expects it. Because betrayal reveals truth. It shows you who was pretending, and who was real. It cleanses your circle of parasites. When you are betrayed, do not curse them. Just thank them, for showing you the truth sooner than later. 5. The psychology of envy. Envy is one of the most destructive yet unspoken emotions in human nature. It is the silent assassin of relationships. While hatred is honest, envy is disguised. A hater declares his opposition, an envious man hides it behind false praise. At its core, envy is admiration corrupted by bitterness. It says, "I wish I had what you have," but turns it into, "You don't deserve what you have." The reason envy is so dangerous is because it lives closest to love. People who envy you once loved you, or at least admired you. They once cheered for you, until your success reminded them of their own failures. You must understand this paradox. The more light you carry, the more shadows you cast. Your success will naturally expose the insecurities of others. That's not your fault, it's the nature of growth. But a man who lacks self-awareness will not see it that way. He will resent you, mock you, or compete silently. That's why the most peaceful men are often alone. They understand that peace is rare in groups where comparison rules the heart. 6. The power of solitude. Solitude is not loneliness, it's power. It's the place where your thoughts are yours again, where no friend's opinion clouds your clarity. The man who fears being alone is the easiest to deceive, because he'll accept any company, even snakes disguised as friends. When you master solitude, betrayal no longer shakes you. Because your foundation isn't built on approval, it's built on inner strength. The Stoics taught that a man must be self-sufficient. That doesn't mean rejecting people, it means not needing them to feel whole. Every powerful man in history, Marcus Aurelius, Nietzsche, Machiavelli, understood that solitude is the forge of greatness. You find your true self only in silence, not in the noise of false friendship. When you walk alone, you see clearly who walks with you genuinely, and who only followed your light. 7. Why real loyalty is rare. Loyalty is not tested in comfort, it's tested in conflict. When you're down, fake friends vanish. When you're up, they return with smiles. Most people are loyal to their needs, not to you. Real loyalty demands selflessness, and that's why it's rare. The loyal man stays even when there's nothing to gain. He protects your name even when you're not in the room. He celebrates you even when he's struggling himself. But such men are few. So few that when you find one, treat him like gold. Because the world breeds opportunists, not loyalists. Understand this truth, the smaller your circle, the stronger your kingdom. 8. When success turns friends into enemies. They loved you when you were ordinary. They clapped when you struggled, nodded when you dreamed, because your ambition didn't threaten them. But the moment you began to rise, the moment your name started echoing in rooms they weren't invited to, their smiles faded. Understand this, success doesn't change you, it exposes them. When a man begins to elevate himself, every friendship around him undergoes a silent test. Some celebrate his rise. Most compare themselves to it. And the weakest resent it. The mirror effect. Success is a mirror, it reflects not your triumph, but their insecurity. When they look at you, they don't just see your growth, they see their stagnation. They remember every excuse they made for why they couldn't, and now you're living proof that they lied to themselves. Your achievements become a form of judgment without words. You didn't insult them. You didn't belittle them. You simply evolved, and that alone convicted them. So they begin to rewrite the narrative. He changed. He got lucky. He's arrogant now. No, you didn't change. You simply outgrew the cage they built for you. The emotional law of growth. Growth has a price, and the first payment is people. Every time you climb a new level, you'll notice fewer familiar faces around you. It's not personal. It's gravitational. When you rise, your energy shifts. You begin to think differently, move differently, speak differently. Those who remain in mediocrity can't breathe in that altitude. They'll either evolve with you, or suffocate in resentment. This is the emotional law of growth. When you evolve, you outgrow not just habits, but people. Let them go. Don't chase them. Don't lower your vibration to keep company with those allergic to progress. The tree doesn't apologize for growing taller. The lion doesn't apologize for outgrowing the pack. And you should never apologize for becoming who they refuse to be. Why success feels lonely. People often say, it's lonely at the top. But that's not entirely true. It's not lonely because the top is empty, it's lonely because the fake can't survive the climb. Most people aren't built for the discipline, rejection, and sacrifice required to reach greatness. They prefer the comfort of the crowd. So when you break away, you expose their lack of courage. They'll interpret your focus as arrogance. Your silence as judgment. Your standards as pride. But none of those are true. You've simply learned that peace and progress require distance. And distance reveals who was truly with you, and who was merely nearby. The Machiavellian truth. Machiavelli taught that men are quicker to offend one who helps them than one who injures them. Why? Because help breeds obligation, and obligation breeds resentment. When your success benefits them, they'll tolerate you. But the moment it reminds them of their dependency, they'll despise you. Your glow humiliates their excuses. Your ambition invalidates their laziness. Your victory becomes their defeat. So don't expect applause. Expect silence. Don't expect loyalty. Expect withdrawal. Because in the economy of human emotion, admiration often turns into envy the moment the scales of power tip. How to move when you start rising. Stop explaining your growth. Those who understand don't need justification. Those who don't will twist it anyway. Stop oversharing your victories. Privacy is power. Announce less. Move more. Let results speak, they can't be argued with. Detach from validation. You don't need to be understood. You only need to keep walking your path. Expect the drift. When people fall away, see it as nature pruning your life for greatness. Because success is not a destination, it's a filter. It separates those who love your soul from those who loved your struggle. And once you pass through that filter, you realize something profound. It was never, you versus them. It was always you versus who you used to be. 9. How to detach emotionally and stay untouchable. The modern world trains men to react, to argue, defend, explain, and prove. But reaction is the opposite of power. The truly powerful man moves like still water, calm, unreadable, and untouchable. Emotional detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's not about not feeling, it's about not being ruled by what you feel. The Stoic origin of detachment. The Stoics called it apatheia, not the absence of emotion, but freedom from being enslaved by it. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire of his time, yet wrote in his private notes. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's emotional detachment. You can't control betrayal, gossip, or jealousy, but you can control your reaction. When you stop reacting, you take away everyone's weapon against you. The man who can't be provoked cannot be defeated. Signs you're losing control. You know you're emotionally dependent when someone's silence disturbs your peace. Someone's approval determines your confidence. Someone's betrayal consumes your focus. That's slavery of the soul. You may appear free, but your mind is chained to external validation. The path to becoming untouchable begins with awareness. Notice what triggers you, then question why it has that power. Usually, it's because it touches your ego, not your essence. The Machiavellian art of observation. The Machiavellian man is an observer. He doesn't speak to fill silence, he speaks to measure people. He listens not to agree, but to detect intent. He knows that every emotion revealed is a tool that can be used against him. So he smiles strategically, reveals selectively, and acts deliberately. To the untrained eye, he looks calm. To the wise, he looks in control. Because control is power, and emotion leaks control. Never let them see what hurts you. Never let them read what excites you. Mystery is not manipulation, it's protection. How to practice detachment daily. Respond, don't react. Pause before speaking. The moment of silence between stimulus and response is where your power lives. Observe without labeling. When someone betrays you, don't call them evil, call them human. This simple reframe removes the emotional sting. Expect impermanence. People, emotions, and situations are transient. Attachment to anything temporary guarantees suffering. Build inner rituals. Meditation, solitude, journaling, these remind you that your peace comes from within, not from applause or approval. Kill the need for closure. You don't need explanations from those who hurt you. Their actions were the explanation. Emotional detachment is not equal to emotional deadness. To care without attachment is mastery. You can love deeply, but not desperately. You can forgive freely, but not forget foolishly. Detachment means you feel the emotion, but you don't become the emotion. You let pain pass through you, not define you. It's like standing in the eye of the storm, you see chaos all around, but your center remains unmoved. That's the art of inner sovereignty. And the man who masters it becomes impossible to manipulate, because nothing external can reach him anymore. 10. The Stoic way, trust no one, respect all. At the highest level of awareness, you stop swinging between extremes. You neither trust blindly nor suspect endlessly. You simply observe. That is the essence of Stoic wisdom, balance. The paradox of human nature. Every human carries both loyalty and envy, honesty and deceit. The same man who praises you today may resent you tomorrow, not because he changed, but because circumstances did. So the wise man doesn't rely on human consistency, he relies on his own discernment. Trust is earned slowly, lost quickly, and rarely regained. Therefore, trust no one completely, not out of fear, but out of realism. Respect everyone, because respect costs you nothing but grants you everything, clarity, peace, and control. The Stoic Code of Conduct. Be kind, but guarded. Kindness disarms enemies, but transparency empowers them. Give warmth, not your weapon. Observe motives, not words. People reveal themselves not through promises, but through patterns. A man's history predicts his loyalty better than his vocabulary. Stay grounded in solitude. The moment your peace depends on others, you're vulnerable. Keep solitude as your sanctuary, the place where no one's opinion echoes louder than your inner voice. Anticipate betrayal. Expecting betrayal isn't paranoia, it's preparation. It keeps your emotions ready but your soul steady. Forgive, but remember. Forgiveness frees you, but forgetting arms them. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the wise man expects betrayal, but he never lets it poison his soul. Walking awake in a sleeping world. You don't need to hate anyone, hatred is still attachment. You don't need to isolate yourself, isolation is fear. You need awareness, the ability to see clearly without judgment. Walk through the world awake. Smile, but observe. Help, but don't depend. Love, but stay grounded. Because trust without caution is weakness. Caution without compassion is cynicism. And the Stoic path lives between those two, power with peace. Final reflection. The journey from naivety to wisdom is painful, but necessary. You'll lose friends. You'll face envy. You'll stand alone more times than you expected. But in that solitude, you'll meet the only person who can never betray you, yourself. Once you learn to move through life with detached compassion, guarded kindness, and unshakable calm, you reach a rare level of freedom. You'll no longer fear betrayal, because you'll expect it. You'll no longer crave validation, because you'll validate yourself. And you'll no longer need to prove your worth, because your silence will do it for you. That's the Stoic way. That's what it means to walk among snakes, and never be bitten.